Welcome back to NHL Live. Don LaGranca, special guest DJ Raddick, taking up until 2 o'clock Eastern Time. And a very excited Barry Josephson is in studio.
Give us a little more of that. I don't think we got that on camera there. A little dancing around. All right, that's what we like.
Oh, you know what? People around the country are going to go on YouTube and watch Barry Josephson dancing with Jonathan Taves' bobblehead.
That's right. We like a little animation here.
How good did Taves play?
He's pretty good. Pretty good. And it's pretty good to have you with us today.
Thanks
for coming in. And
absolutely.
I wanted to ask you right off the bat, because we asked Jerry Bruckheimer yesterday about it, and guys who are entertainers and in the entertainment
So you
business.
had somebody here with more credits than me.
More
impressive
listen,
credits.
we love you. You're here.
Right,
he was in London. He was in London. You're here.
Okay, that was a remote. I'm in
You're
the house.
here. You came right in.
Yeah.
You always kiss up more to the guy in studio.
That's
than on the phone.
absolutely. But the bottom line I wanted to get to is that we asked Jerry about the 24/7 thing that the NHL is doing with HBO, and you're a big hockey fan, and you're in the entertainment business, and you've seen these things. What do you think about it? How do you think it's going to come off? Are you excited about it? Is it a good thing?
Very. I think the more that you expose the sport, interesting thing. My wife and I watched the NFL, the Jets behind the scenes,
the Hard Knocks,
Hard Knocks, and she's not the biggest NFL fan, but she just got so invested in the players and the behind the scenes and so on. So I think it's going to be great.
Storytelling, right?
Storytelling. It's great storytelling, and you get to expose and see the players and hear how they speak and what their personalities are like. And knowing a lot of hockey players as I do, I said you have some great personalities, you have some great stories that people can tell, and so I think that's a great thing. It really is. And I think the more behind the scenes about the Winter Classic, the better. And the more that honestly, Sidney and Ovechkin are become rivalry face of the league is great. I think people really need to see who the players are.
See, I always felt the great thing about the NHL is also its biggest detriment is it's such a team sport. There's not too many I guys or me guys there.
Right.
But sometimes you need a little bit of that so that we can find out the personalities of these players, because sometimes the way hockey is structured about it being about team, nobody is doing anything flamboyant. Sometimes we just don't know enough about these guys.
It's true. Well, hockey players seem to be so well coached, and they're so respectful of the coach, and they try to keep toe the team line. So they're afraid to sort of speak out their way. I don't mean true fear, but I mean it's just not done. So whereas in the NBA people will spout off about something, or you have certain rivalries in other sports, I think it's harder for them to come forward and do that. So the more you see of that, I think it's great for the fans. It's also great for people who don't know hockey as well.
That's right. I think you really touched on something talking about your wife watching the Hard Knocks show.
Yeah.
And that's something that really be a benefit for the NHL is not only the hockey fan is going to watch it. I mean, they're going to be, pulling up a chair at 10 o'clock on December 15th and be excited. But the people, it's just fans of sports in general, and maybe not, they don't know hockey. This is a great opportunity for them to really get to know and to learn the stories of the Crosbys and the Ovechkins, but also of, the Max Talbots and, the other guys that are on these teams.
Max is a great example of a guy who just worked so hard to make a team, and then made a difference. I think his is a great story of an underdog. And I think, for my wife, I think that the hook really was watching players get cut. You get invested emotionally, the roster gets cut down, and then, you see what really plays out. And it was very emotional. So I think, the more that people can see that, the better. Yeah.
Now, Barry's the producer of Life as We Know It, which is going to be out in theaters on October 8th. And literally and figuratively, Katherine Heigl is probably one of the hottest women in the business. And it's also some hockey footage, and apparently one of the actors wears a Thrasher and Blues jersey. So there's a little bit for the hockey fan in this movie, right?
Yeah, a lot. Actually, the guy's job is he's a sports director.
Okay.
So he directs basketball. He's also directed some hockey. And so, you get to see what this guy's life, played by Josh Duhamel brilliantly. And, yeah, he's a huge fan. His character comes from St. Louis, but he's living in Atlanta. So, yeah, we have a lot of, you see some NHL in the movie, but really it's Josh is wearing a St. Louis Blues hat the entire movie, because that's sort of his favorite hat from high school. And obviously that's a little something I picked out.
I think something bad happens to that hat.
Yeah, something does happen to the hat, and it's a little bit controversial, but it's with love, you know.
Yes.
There's a moment with the baby. The movie's about a couple who adopts a baby. Their best friends pass away, and they are the ones that their best friends chose to raise the baby, except they're single, and they don't get along very well. So they sort of have to make a go of it to do the right thing. So in a moment with the baby, which you'll see in the movie, the hat comes in as an essential element.
Yeah. Well, see, now, as Greg is quick to point out, I mean, you could have went with this hat.
Could have,
Yes.
very easily.
I mean,
see.
now,
Very easily.
I don't know if people would identify with the Blues, but
I see. Well, you know, I could wear the hat in studio. You know, I could
there
start
you
just
go.
right there.
There you go.
Nobody sent me this hat. Okay.
Oh,
But you
great.
see,
Oh,
Well, let's go back to
operations.
Let's go. Come on. The storytelling was his character's from St. Louis, so he's had this hat since high school, and that's why he wears it.
Yeah. So, did you enjoy making the film and having? It seems like you're talking about it like you have a real.
I loved it. I loved making the movie. It's a really great, heartfelt movie, and you know what's terrific is that sometimes you go to see a romantic comedy and there isn't that much in it for a guy, but in this movie there really is, because you really do care about what's going to happen to this baby. And I think the job that Josh does in the movie is one of interest. I think a lot of people want to know behind the scenes what you all do, you know, and I think this is an opportunity to see that, because he describes his job as a sports associate director as I sit next to the guy who pushes the button, I push the button for him.
Okay.
So and he said someday I'll get the job where I get to be the guy who tells the guy to push the button. And yeah, so he loves sports, and the character you see, is always wearing either Thrashers or Blues, and I wanted it was important for the NHL to be represented in the movie.
All right.
Anything I do,
We love that.
Yeah.
We love that.
Absolutely.
Now, Barry, when you choose to produce a movie, obviously you want it to make money. That's probably first and foremost. But do you also have to love the project and really like it in order to make it work? Or are there times where you just like, it's not I'm in love with, but I really think it can make some money, so I'm going to go with it? Does it have to be that combination?
I think for you to do good work, I mean, I really look at the investment in time that Bruckheimer puts into movies. He and I worked together on Bad Boys. I was a studio executive. Jerry was the producer. And, his passion for the material that he works on, and look, these are commercial movies, but he loves them. He loves it. He works really hard. So I'm the same way. Enchanted I worked on for many, many years before I produced the movie. Bones was a book that I took the book and the character, the woman who wrote the book, Kathy Reichs, and I just said, look, I really think that your character should be on TV. That was like a 2-year odyssey. In Life as We Know It, I'd loved the script when I first read it, but I'd had the material for 7 years and always wanted to get the movie made. So I've had, that passion for material. You want to see a certain story told, so you really work hard on it. It goes back to what you were saying about the NHL show. It's just like when there's great storytelling, we're all compelled. And in this movie, it's really a grounded movie. There's something in it for a girl, there's something in it for a guy, because your investment in what's going to happen to a baby who can't care for herself. So in that way, I always loved the movie. I really did. And it's a really great question to ask any of us who have young children. What if? Yeah. What would you do? So all my friends I talked to about it, everybody had a different answer. Sometimes it was a relative who would take care of their child. Sometimes it was a best friend. So there was really a there for the movie.
Well, I'm going to turn my children over to Don.
Yes, smart move.
He also has a cat now that has caused a lot of trouble, and I figured that I got 3 kids that can really give him a lot of trouble. Be ready.
Yeah, my wife and I talked about it. I think Caesar Milan's going to take the baby because he seems to be a great trainer, right? He'll do that thing to the baby, and the baby will just be cool. So.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
So you work in any time to go to games?
Yeah, this year I'll go to a lot of Kings games because I think I'll be in LA for at least the beginning of the season. I'd really love to come to the Winter Classic this year. I just really, really
make it
want to
happen.
see that game. I'm going to do my best. It's hard to decide exactly where you're going to be. For New Year's, especially when you're a film producer. You never know when something's going to happen. But I'd really love to do it.
Well, we hope you can get there. I mean, it's been a really exciting. I mean, I've been lucky to be at the last 2.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, the fans. It's amazing to me, Barry. This like at the last one at Fenway Park. I mean,
great.
We were in the dugout as I was going out to do some interviews after the game, and I'm in the dugout, and like the people who were sitting there could barely see because of the way the setup was at Fenway, and you're at field level and you can't see over the boards.
Right.
And yet, usually in that circumstance, fans will yell at me. I'm like, hey, tell them to do something. Not a word. Everybody was just thrilled and happy to be there. It's an event. I hope you get to come and experience it.
I would love to go. And every time I watch it, I think, oh, I wish I was there. The game looks so good. It really does. This year it's Pittsburgh, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
Heinz Field, and
it's going to be
great. It should be a very it should be another fun day.
Yep.
Awesome. Now, don't you think your next project? Okay,
Here it
you've
comes.
You've got like a street scene, and you need
roll out
to
the
just
casting
walk by.
couch. Where's the casting couch?
If you just needed just somebody to walk by, I won't even sell myself. I'll sell EJ.
Yeah.
If you just needed somebody to walk
by.
by. Don't you think EJ would be the perfect person? He's got that
perfect.
He's not going to pop on the screen and take it away from the actor, but you say that's a common guy walking by.
And I could walk
Where's my
by.
camera? Where's my camera? Hold on. There it is. Here it is.
That's it.
Yes. Yes. Although I'm not sure. I think maybe this bobblehead could have the same degree of talent as. No, just. Sure. I'm kidding.
No, probably more actually than me.
Right.
But I could actually just walk by with a bobblehead.
Yeah.
Doing
Look,
that, like
I
in
did
the
my
background.
best. I did my best. I got hockey in the movie.
That's
I have
That's
hockey in the
true.
television
That's
show.
good.
You guys are next. Okay? You guys are next.
Give him the look.
Personality
like
plus.
when you got the glasses up and
Yeah.
you're thinking, you know, like
kind of like one of these.
you're looking at a newspaper. You somebody says something, you glance up. That could sell a scene. That could make it work.
Nice.
Senator
I like.
Very
I
nice.
like that.
Senator Raddick.
I'll tell you. All right.
I'm stuck.
All right. Here's your
stuck.
audition. I have your audition. Ready? October 8th.
Okay.
Life as We Know It hits theaters.
Okay.
Let's hear from the both of you.
Okay.
Why people should go see it. October 8th.
2 words. Katherine Heigl.
Okay.
Period.
And everything you produce is fantastic. So why wouldn't this be great?
All right. Awesome.
There you go.
October 8th. Hockey fans, come on out. You're
Come
going
on
to
out.
love Josh Duhamel in this movie. You're going to
That's
love
right.
Katherine Heigl in
Check
this
it out
movie.
as you can go as a matinee.
Yeah.
And then come and run over to the game, because if you're in a city, that might be opening day. You might have a game, like the Kings might be
That's
playing.
true.
Your
Right.
Kings.
Absolutely. It's a twofer.
Yeah. And you were talking. It's funny. He was at the draft in L.A.
Yeah,
and you were
that was
right
great.
down low, and you
That
had a
was
great
actually-
time, right?
Yeah, that was a great experience. I'd never been to the draft before, and it was great. It was great to see all those kids. The amazing thing was to see how young the sport has gotten. Look at how young our stars are.
Oh.
Then you go to the draft, and you see,
Even younger.
even younger, and you think, my God, but they're so talented. It's 16, 17. I mean, when I watch these kids play, and I see them at 12 and 13, the skills that they have, I was just watching, Pat Brisson, who's an agent
Yep.
for hockey.
Good guy.
Pat's a fantastic guy. I was watching his kid play, and it was just remarkable,
Yeah.
and so it was exciting to go to the draft and see what it means. These kids who have played day in and day out, being on skates at 3 years old, and having this dream fulfilled at the draft, incredible.
He's already worried about the Kings goaltending too. He's asking me Jonathan Bernier.
Yeah, I
where
want to
does
just
he
make
fit
sure
in?
that Bernier plays half the games.
He's going to play.
I think they need a 2-goalie system. That's
See,
just,
that's the
I'm just
attention
saying.
to detail.
I like
that
Jonathan
makes him-
Quick, but
That's right.
I think help. A little
Okay.
help.
It's good. I think it's a good plan, and I think it's probably going to be a plan.
Don't you
that
think it
gets
would have
enacted.
helped this year, past year? I mean, it would have
Well,
been
at
good.
the end of the year when Bernier came in, he played
Yeah.
well, and I kind of
Right.
thought he played 3 games. He had a shutout. He played really well, and Quick, I thought, had just been a little tired, maybe from the long run.
Right.
I wouldn't have been surprised if they would have given Bernier an opportunity, but it's tough when you have a guy all year as your guy,
Yeah.
and then you're in the playoffs and you go away from him. So it was a tricky call, but I think Bernier is going to get an excellent opportunity this year. He's going to play a lot of games,
Yeah.
and who knows, down the road, that's going to be the fight
Yeah.
to see which one of those guys emerges as the guy.
Yeah. Agreed.
Life as We Know It in theaters on October 8th. He's Barry Josephson, and he's always a pleasure to have here in studio. Best of luck with the movie and everything else, Barry.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Don
it.
LeGreg,
All right.
Thanks,
EJ
Lou.
Raddick, NHL Live. Take up until 2 o'clock Eastern Time.